Make sure you get that on there. Oh yeah. Looks like we are live. Make sure that's all good. There we go. All right. Good morning, Warriors. Oh yeah, definitely a tennis day. Thank you all for tuning in for the Gentlemen of Crypto. Today is Tuesday, August 21st, and I am Bitcoin Zay, here to bring you some good old news in the blockchain and crypto space. What's going on, people? Glad you're tuning in. Let's see, Banger Committee, what's going on? Marcellus Love, how you doing? Bitcoin Movement, thanks for tuning in. Kevin Hodges, what's up? What's up? Jizzy Mac jumping in there. Oh yeah, so have a few more seconds. Let some people jump in there. Everybody on Facebook, definitely. So not a lot of news today. Definitely a big slowdown in journalism. I will say a lot of the big stories have gone away now that price action is sort of sideways. It's all good though. Would definitely always be here for you Monday through Friday. Definitely a tennis day. So let's see. Jizzy Mac, what's going on? Christopher Weber, what's going on, boss? Paul Chandler, appreciate you tuning in. So let's get into the winner for the free Bitcoin in regards to our question, which was when do you think Bitcoin will be considered mainstream? And what do you think will happen as far as payments with Bitcoin going mainstream? Shout out to John Siebert, one of our regulars, always in here in the chat. Definitely appreciate your comment. He was basically stating that it'll be about 5 to 20 years for mass adoption, which I tend to agree because mass adoption is something that doesn't happen overnight. However, he did also state how Bitcoin is actually better than gold simply because it is a scarce supply and you can't just print it, freely like you could with fiat currency. And with gold, they're finding new gold all the time and the price is suppressed. So good comment there from John Siebert. Be sending you those free Satoshis. So let's get into some news. Start off with some good news. One of our good friends, or one of the people we like here at the Gentlemen of Crypto, Steve Wozniak, Apple co-founder, actually has stated that he plans to get involved with a blockchain project, which, as you know, is a first for him because he's actually been one of the people that's like, well, I just bought one Bitcoin. I'm staying on the sidelines. However, if it gets too good where Steve Woz has to jump in, then you know something's up. Very smart man. So I'm sure he wouldn't do it without some background knowledge. It actually states at the Chain Exchange Conference held in Las Vegas, August 13th through 15th, Steve Wozniak revealed in the interview that he plans to participate in a blockchain startup, praising the benefits of the technology. He actually stated, I'm involved with very soon, my first time being involved in a blockchain company. Our approach is not like a new currency or something phony, a little bit of a shade to the ICOs, where an event will make it go up in value. It's a share of stock in a company. This company is doing investment by investors with huge track records and good investments in things like apartment buildings in Dubai. So fancy. Steve Woz is going fancy. So it looks like he's actually getting involved with his company, which he didn't name. Like I said, very smart man. He didn't want the hype to be all around him. However, he has said his love for Bitcoin and blockchain. He stated blockchain technology is so independent. It's kind of like the internet when it was brand new, which he actually remembers. I was amazed at the technology behind it. I've encountered people working in real estate avenues, Uber systems, everything we've got in our life, especially involving transactions. Every single one you hear about me has value. So as you can see here, this man loves blockchain technology. Also has, talked about Bitcoin as well, but it is good to see someone this smart on our side. So can't really argue against something when you have some of the smartest people in the world talking about blockchain technology. And now he's being involved with a company, which he would not do unless he has some good background. So shout out to everybody that's just now coming in. Let's see. Brian Hanley, what's going on, boss? Tessa Hall, John Siebert. Oh, yeah. Appreciate your comment, man, and winning those free Satoshis. So moving forward, seems to be a theme for this week. I believe it was UPS we last talked about. But today, 150-year-old MetLife, they are piloting a diabetes insurance payments on a blockchain in Singapore. That is one hell of a headline. Well, as we can see, it looks like a lot of the legacy companies are starting to see we can't not use blockchain technology, or at least mention it. I mean, at least have a pilot program. So MetLife, they've actually started automated insurance solutions that will have enrolled pregnant women in Singapore get an automatic payout in case they are diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So it looks like Lumen Lab, who actually developed this technology, they have a experimental product called Vitana. And this will make it unnecessary for enrollees of the insurance to ever file a claim, which takes out a lot of time. I know that a lot of people who deal with insurance companies, when you have to call or if you have to sit down in a face-to-face interview, file a claim, write down what happened, look at the damage, that takes a lot of time, way less efficient. It looks like this company may have fixed that problem or is trying to fix that problem. Vitana is the first insurance product focusing on gestational diabetes in Singapore, where actually 20% of expectant mothers suffer from the condition. So whenever people talk about Bitcoin kills babies or it's the energy is too much, look at all the ways Bitcoin is saving lives and blockchain is saving lives. I mean, it's people building things to actually help others. And this is what we mean by focusing on the technology. Of course, you can be a speculator, you can trade, but if you focus on the technology and you can build products such as these, you end up helping people all around the world, because if it works in Singapore, it's going to work somewhere else. And at the same time, I'm sure they'll make their money either from government-backed grants or from private institutions investing in their company, which we'll talk about some government grants in a second. So good to see from MetLife there. Goes further to say, with Vitana, the electronic medical records of customers are securely connected via mobile device before an insurance policy is issued. Within minutes, they'll actually download a mobile app. So all that they have to do is in the first 6 months of pregnancy, download an app. During the pilot phase, the maximum insurance offered is about $1,800 in US dollars. And it looks to me like they have this pilot program ready to go. So I'll be anxious to see how it works out. I mean, when you have something as simple as an app that you can download when you get pregnant, and then it'll take care of you throughout, just in case you get gestational diabetes, that works for a whole myriad of things. So definitely one of the good use cases I see there. Let's look at some of these questions. Zach Hart, I work for FedEx and I'm seeing this news about UPS. Should I even mention blockchain to the higher ups, or should I assume they are looking into it? You know, it's funny. Dealing with banks, dealing with or bankers, I should say, dealing with people, VCs and people like that. Honestly, a lot of times the people in that company have no clue what's going on in their own company. Honestly, I mean, you can mention blockchain to maybe your manager or district manager, but they may or may not actually know what's going on. It could be the people at the very, very top. If you work at the very, very top, if you're on the board, if you're one of the people that's around decision makers, maybe. But some of the middle managers may have no clue. I mean, I've mentioned blockchain technology to a Walmart manager before. They didn't know what I was talking about. I've talked to bankers who I've explained that Bitcoin was in their bank's end of year report, and they looked at me like, "Oh, we have an end of year report." Yeah, like Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They've been talking about it for years. So you can say it. They may or may not even know what you're talking about, but honestly, but yeah, you should mention it. And maybe they, if you mention that you know something about blockchain and they know that they're moving towards that, might get you a promotion. Who knows? I don't know your situation, but hey, that's one of those things. It can't hurt to know about blockchain technology at this point, especially when you see these legacy companies jumping on it. So shout out to MetLife for working towards the future, so to say. And good to see Lumen Labs getting their due. They've been working hard. So more use cases for blockchain technology. The U.S. border officials, they've stated that they are allowing blockchain to certify import certificates. So the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, has plans to use the blockchain technology. I like how to say the blockchain technology, like it's only one, to verify North American Free Trade Agreement and Central American Free Trade Agreement certificates. According to American Shipper, the new trial will see the agency begin live fire testing a blockchain platform to certify imported goods originate from the city of export and verify suppliers are compliant with their U.S. importers. So we've stated this before with some of the companies that we actually like to use blockchain, because blockchain technology is not a use case for every company right now. If anything, it actually may give you less business over time, even if you mention the name. But like we say, anytime you have a supply where you have to ship it to different places and you have to verify that it's been to those different locations, blockchain is a good use case. CBP Division of Business Transformation and Innovation Head Vincent Annunziato said the agency is running the pilot ahead of a September launch in a bid to prepare for the future. and to increase market adoption, which is pretty smart. They actually stated really what the government is trying to do is twofold. One is help blockchain along in a healthy manner for increasing market adoption. And the other thing is we're trying to prepare ourselves in a proactive way to be ready when private industry really begins to take off with this technology. So those two reasons, I actually, whenever I do any type of presentation or any type of consultation with business owners, I always tell them those 2 points is one, it can't hurt to learn about blockchain technology and test it in your own business or accept Bitcoin payments because you want to increase market adoption. And also when private industries take off, I've always said this, if you're already in a place where you at least know the basics of how to accept cryptocurrency and how blockchain technology could affect your market, because like I said, everybody doesn't need a blockchain. If you can figure that out, 3, 4, 5 years before the market comes along with it, you'll end up being the person that's teaching people how to use it. You'll actually put your business ahead because when they're like, well, what's a business that has this technology? Who accepts cryptocurrency? Your company will be on that list. And if you're a small business owner, you need all of the marketing and free marketing you can get. So as you can see, bigger companies are taking this approach as well. And as far as governments, they're doing the same thing because they understand first to market usually wins. So actually states here that a specialized group created in November 2017 to advise the secretaries of Treasury and Homeland Security on the agency's commercial operations stated proof of concept exercise that will leverage the blockchain to verify intellectual property between IP licensees and licensors. I can see how that would look like there's an intrusion of your privacy. However, if you want to come into the country, if you want to import, you have to have some sort of KYC or AML on you and your product. So that's just a guaranteed thing. You're not importing stuff without some sort of receipt or some sort of public key or private key to sign it. So that's good to see there. Starting to see a lot of legacy companies getting on blockchain. We saw a lot of startups last year and the year before that, a lot of cryptos, but now it looks like a lot of the old companies are starting to jump in and say, hey, man, we can't be left out. So good to see there. And moving forward, in the sports world, don't watch soccer or football as it's called in the European countries. However, 7 Premier League football clubs sign a Bitcoin advertising deal with eToro. So shout out to eToro. Oh yeah, been doing their thing for a while. UK-based trading platform. They actually revealed this today, and they've stated that according to various sources, UK clubs Tottenham Hotspur, Brighton and Hove, Albion, Crystal Palace, Cardiff City, Leicester City Football Club. I know I'm butchering these names. Newcastle United and Southampton announced they had signed up to host eToro advertisements. Blockchain and cryptocurrency integration in football stadiums and the industry will also form a focus for the partnerships. eToro so far not giving details as to the nature of the exploration. So it looks like this is one of the first steps in a long road to fully embrace Bitcoin by the football world, which is great. I think sports have more of an influence. You got to remember, I know people in America, we're kind of jaded. Soccer is still the #1 most viewed sport in the world easily. And whenever you have these companies or these Premier League teams promoting it, you actually have millions of people able to see eToro, one of the trading platforms, and it's all the steps they need in order to fully integrate Bitcoin. So I actually like the fact that soccer is starting it off because, we've seen Sacramento Kings are accepting Bitcoin. We've seen some, Steph Curry cards or digital cards. So we've seen some stuff in other sports. However, if the largest one in the world is starting to accept Bitcoin, remember, this is a global currency, people, then that is definitely a good sign because those are the role models. That's what people look up to. I mean, billions of people watch the World Cup. Billions of people watch soccer year round. So great to see there. Let's see what my eToro is huge in Europe. Yeah, absolutely. The friends I have that are in Europe, they told me about eToro before I even knew about it. And then, went from there and started learning about it myself. But good promotion. Let's see, Maurice Parks. I talked with a guy from FDIC and they said Bitcoin is coming and every meeting they have is a top priority. Absolutely. I honestly, if you don't know by now, a lot of the people in the industry, They don't say this in public. They won't say it in public. It's literally their job is at stake if they say it in public. But in private, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. That's why when I try and advise people, I can't really say, oh, I have recorded conversations like I'm Omarosa. I don't have anything recorded, but I'm having these conversations with people in private. And I can assure you that Bitcoin isn't going anywhere because they work for these companies. And some of them are scared and some of them are ready for the innovation. So, yeah, Maurice Parks definitely. They won't say it in public, but that's why we do the news, so you can actually, understand what these people are saying, even though they use double talk. But let's see, going further. This move marks a fresh milestone for cryptocurrency integration in mainstream football. It states sporadic experiments have already come from clubs elsewhere, including Turkey, where they actually hired a professional player for Bitcoin. We actually covered that story, and they're excited. They say this is very much the first step on a long road to football, fully embracing Bitcoin and the underlying blockchain technology. eToro's UK managing director has stated in the drum. So. UEFA having a blockchain-based ticketing system, a Turkey player accepting Bitcoin, and now you have 7 Premier League teams promoting on eToro. Great news all around there, and I can't wait to see it take off. You got to have the steps to get to where it's mainstream. So good to see there. Moving forward, we're going to end it on some good news. The good old U.S. government, they actually have granted $800,000 to researchers at the University of California, San Diego, not too far from here. The guy who's actually the research and software architect with this data-enabled scientific computing division won $818,433 from the NSF, which is the National Science Foundation. They developed the Open Science Chain, which is a proposed distributed ledger, which will help researchers efficiently access and verify data collected through scientific experiments. So basically, they've gotten the research grant that they've given out from the National Science Foundation because it's a long-standing organization, been around for a while. It serves as a key conduit for research initiatives in the U.S. to tap federal resources. They've funded blockchain projects in the past, so this isn't a new thing. However, one of the biggest things they want to do is, of course, say blockchain, not Bitcoin. So they're moving towards a lot of these scientific experiments and economic experiments that use blockchain. So public records show that the project entails a web-based cyber infrastructure built using DLT or distributed ledger technologies or blockchain. It allows researchers to provide metadata and verification information over scientific data sets, which, as we've always said before, it makes your database or your work more secure using this. And simply put, the network will constitute a living and digital catalog of their work, growing as more information is developed and added. So as the chain gets longer, it gets more secure over time, and people can better trust the data they're examining. Honestly, I know people have had their arguments with scientists and historians, like who's correct, who's saying the truth. In my opinion, it's great either way. It's simply to have this mechanism in place, because as we go forward, you want to have a research or a place where you can research data that you can trust. You don't want to look up data in places where you obviously are like, okay, well, they're messing it up or they're fudging it. So this is good to see there. And I'm sure whoever creates it, U.S. government will have a hand in using it, honestly. And this grant will carry from 2018 to 2021. So we'll see how much they can get done in this 3-year span. Like I said, things take time. And once they do, we'll see how it pans out. So good news there. The U.S. government actually giving out grants for blockchain research. So wanted to end on that. And for our question of the day, so you can earn those free Satoshis, we talked about a lot of legacy companies using blockchain technology. So for our question of the day, what are your top 3 use cases for blockchain technology? Remember, everything doesn't need a blockchain. However, give us your top 3 use cases and maybe some companies that can use it. Put your public address and we'll send those free Satoshis. I appreciate you all tuning in today. Make sure you have a happy Tuesday. Great day. A few people just now joining in. Sorry you missed some of it, but great day ahead. Remember, new shirts on the shop KRBEcrypto.com site. Also, I will be at the Black Blockchain Summit September 9th through 10th. And both me and King will be at World CryptoCon October 31st. So if you want to attend that event, let us know. We have a discount code for you, and we'll send you that code now. Actually type it in here for you. So you can get the discount for those tickets at World CryptoCon. So thank you all for tuning in and have a great Tuesday.